The new moon appears dark when it's positioned exactly between the sun and the earth. So I know just until a few years ago when I really got involved in astrology and started really studying the science of it and not just reading a sun horoscope, I didn't understand the new moon. So, and in religious circles, I was taught that the new moon is when you start to see the light and the crescent is beginning to show, and it's not the case. And when we're speaking about astronomy and astrology, a new moon is black. It is the dark moon. So that happens when the moon is closest to the sun. And so if this is the earth, this is the sun, and we have the luminary, the moon, which is rotating around us. When it's out here, this is a full moon because the light of the sun is hitting it, and so it's illuminated. When it's here between the sun and the earth, then it is hidden, so it's backlit. And what we see of the moon then is not reflecting sunlight because we aren't seeing that side of the moon where it's reflecting. So that is the new moon, and it's in a 29.5 day cycle. So every 15th day about, you are seeing a new moon. And every 29.5 days you're seeing a new moon, and then every 15th day you're seeing the full moon. So if you go outside at 7:30 p.m. PST, so it's Pacific Standard Time, I'm in California, and you face south, the sun will be setting at its new moon stage. So the constellation of Cancer, which is where the new moon will be in, is going to be on your right hand side, and the constellation of Sagittarius will be on your left, and that's the AC/DC axis. So face south, extend your hands out at a 90-degree angle from your body, and then you'll be facing your midheaven if you're looking at a natal chart. So arms extended, and you're facing south. Then you're looking at the MC, the IM is behind you, that's your Imam Kolai. And then your left hand will be at the ascendant, the right hand will be at the descendant. And so present energy, as I call it, every time I pull up a chart and I'm doing new moon or full moon astrology, then I call that the present energy, and that changes. So it has all the same parts that your natal chart has, but it's always shifting. So at that time, 7:30 p.m. this Friday, June 23rd, the new moon is going to be basically sitting in your right hand. As the sun is setting, then you'll get a glimpse of the moon, new moon. And then on your left hand is going to be that Sagittarian ascendant with Saturn and part of fortune conjunct it. And so since you're standing then in basically a natal chart, that is why what I do is geocentric astrology, because you are the center of the universe, you're the center of that natal chart, and that's your perspective of everything. And that's how I do the zodiac signs. Now, if you've not done one of my workshops or studied with me, if you have not yet booked a session and become a client, then you most likely chose this video dependent upon your sun sign. So we have sun signs, moon signs, the north node placement, rising signs, and each of these is very important, but it's also more important to know where your placements are. So to receive the most accurate horoscope, I suggest you go to astro.com because it's free, it's fairly easy to use. I'm going to give you some very simple instructions, and you will definitely need your date of birth, or your time of birth. That's the most important piece of information. So from the drop-down menu, you'll choose horoscopes, and then from that, on the right-hand side, it'll say extended. You'll go to extended horoscopes. And or it's extended natal charts. I'm not sure. I don't. It's the only thing that says extended. And so after you've entered your birth data, go to the middle of the page, and then you're going to enter the date of the new moon, which is going to say 23rd June 2017. You don't need to have a specific time because it's actually going to correlate to your birth time that you've put in. And that's just when we do transits. So then you're going to go a little further down. There's going to be a section called additional objects. Just check where it says true node and descending node. And then just to the right of that, check the box that says major aspects. And then underneath it'll say click here to show the chart. Obviously, click the button. And then once your natal chart is displayed, click the blue button that says with transits, and you're ready to follow along with your video. So now quickly, the sun, and this is what you actually normally would choose. The only reason that you're going to listen to your sun sign is if it sits in the very first house. And they will have numbers close to the center of the natal chart. You're going to have the number of houses, and there are 12 houses. The very first line that you see, just as I described earlier in the video, is the AC/DC axis, and that's the ascendant and descendant. So the line and point on the left-hand side of the perpendicular cross, the left-hand side is your rising sign or ascendant. So you will listen to the video that is in that rising sign, or let's say if like my ascendant is at 25 degrees Leo, I actually listen to the Virgo because the majority of my first house is Virgo. So I suggest that you do the same as well. And so sometimes I listen to my Leo ascendant, or I will listen to my moon sign. Depends on what I'm going through evolution-wise. But for these videos, pick rising or your first house. Usually they match. They should. And if not, then go with whichever has the majority, right? So, okay. Enjoy. Hey, Pisces ascendants and Pisces first house, Pisces sun, if your sun happens to sit in your first house. And this is going to be in your 5th house of creativity, romance, and children. This is also considered another money house. Money houses are the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th. The 5th house is where we play. So sometimes if you play lotto, that's where these aspects will be found for a lottery winner. I'm not saying every Pisces is a lottery winner, but as far as have come across my path, I've always been blessed by a Pisces. That's because I have Jupiter in Pisces in my 7th house. So this is perfectly placed right now with the Neptune retrograde, and Neptune of course is at home in Pisces, and the new moon there. So this is an amazing powerhouse for artists. Follow your gut in regards to your money, the things that you value, and your self-worth, as if Pisces didn't already know how to do that. So if you have any planets anywhere between 0 and 5 degrees Cancer, I urge you to get a reading. This will impact you on a very personal level. So just go to the link down below and either book a personal reading with me through Skype or phone, or your other option is to do an email transit report. So you're going to go ahead and follow the same process as if you are booking an appointment online. And then when you get to the add your info page, on the bottom of the screen there's a little section that says leave me a message. That's where I want you to put your date of birth, time of birth, and place of birth. The time of birth is the absolute most important. I don't suggest guessing, but if you're adventurous, Pisces, I know you are anyway, then feel free, just try to get it as close as possible, because the sun, moves a few degrees every couple of days, but the moon will move degrees within minutes. So that's pretty important information, right? And aside from that, it looks beautiful, especially if you're an artist, singer, or, you already have Neptune going for you in retrograde right now. So enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.